Could we reopen his redevelopment? He was very open to building a firehouse, and we've gotten a lot of feedback from the community. I've talked to, dozens and dozens of people regarding location, regarding positives and negatives on that. And at this time, I don't want to confuse any issues. Fire safety is critical. It is really, really critical. Dr. Pascucci and I, again, have talked most days since January 1, and a real commitment to making a change when it comes to fire safety. So with that, I would also like to add $5 million to the budget so that we can build our own firehouse. The location of that firehouse is uncertain today. I do believe it should be central. I do think an area like we have land that the town owns at F&F property. There's other opportunities on Crawford's Corner Road. So we're gonna need our engineer and our architect's help to find the ideal spot. But I think trying to couple fire safety with anything else is a mistake, and at this point, I'd like to put a big step forward and make sure that that happens. So those are the two things I'm asking for, to be added to the budget this year. By the way, that will not change our 0% increase for the budget.
Eric, have you worked with the administrator in trying to find the money in order to do that, increasing the budget?
Yes, so today we're actually, this morning, for most of the day, we're going to be meeting with Moody's, been crunching numbers over the last few weeks, and I'm very confident with the amount of revenue that will come in from Bellworks as well as other projects in town, that we are still in an incredible financial situation. And remember, this is a budget and a planning tool. It only requires 5% down. We would have to take a bond, being that you have the life. A firehouse has a very long life, so it's a longer bond. So when you take a bond, it's the life of that building. The firehouse, you might be able to get a 30-year bond, so I don't know, but certainly at least a 20-year. So the impact on residents would be minimal. And again, based on what I've heard, and I've seen organizations start and their commitment, and I've seen a real coming together of the community, it feels to me that Holmdel is supportive of this.
So do you need a motion to second? Are you making a motion and you need a second to amend the budget today?
Well, yes, that is I am asking for a motion. I'm asking for a second to amend the budget.
I'll give you a second on that.
I would just note, Mayor, the budget's actually under item 10. Do you want to skip ahead to that and take care of that now? We'll backtrack to the consent agenda.
Yeah, that I do.
Then I have something I would like to say too.
We're going to open up for
Like
discussion.
too.
Sure.
If
Go ahead.
that's
So I'm
right.
going to second the motion and then we'll open up for discussion.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay. I applaud the $5 million for the firehouse. We need it now. But I also believe we need, and I would like it added to the budget, at least $400,000 for paid people in the day. Whether it's firefighters that will get first preference from our firefighters, Monday through Friday, we are weak. And we need someone there. Whether it's fire inspectors that we hire that can do other work in the town, I would like money in this year's budget for those salaries. So I'm recommending at least $400,000 in salaries for that position. I would like that added to the budget.
Mr. Mayor, I also believe that the first aid requested originally 60 radios. I believe they were willing to go down to 55. I think 55 is the minimum you can go to.
Excuse me, Mike, can you clarify the fact that we have a motion and it doesn't address the radios at this point?
At this point, any discussion on the budget as amended would be proper.
So Mike, I do appreciate that. So I had a conversation last night with one of the officers, and I'm certainly not going to squabble about an additional 5, but we looked at the amount of associate officers. Jeff Ackerson, and who is spearheading this project for the last 18 months, they felt, and I was in the room when the gentleman who provides all these still stood by the number of 25. However, because any of the associates are not allowed to drive alone, so I'm not going to squabble about 5. I mean, at the end of the day, but I think going from 25 to 50 was a significant jump, and I think it will solve. Certainly, it's a new process, and I don't think we need to go above or over. We can study it and see how it goes, and at the end of the day, if they need another 5, 10, or 15, then we can adjust the following year. I will respond, Rocco, and again, we've spent a lot of time with the volunteers. The one thing that has been clear from the chief is that he feels that it will have a large negative cultural thing if we dedicate professional firemen today. So as much as I am very open to different employees here that would have fire background, fire safety. I disagree that we would actually hire pure professional firefighters.
Well, I've spoken to the chief too again, and his response, when I brought up that they would get first right of refusal for those positions, the eyes lit up. So I'm not saying either which way to go yet, that we can debate, but there is a deficiency in the daytime, there is, and we need people. So I would like the money in the budget, we can discuss who we're gonna hire, but I think that money has to be in the budget now.
I don't disagree with the doctor that we allocate $400,000 into the budget and we debate and discuss and analyze whether it's the right thing to do in the months ahead. So as long as our interim CFO feels we can do that.
As of right now, you have $275,000 left in your cap. So put $400,000 in there, it's not gonna fit.
So what we could do, so since this already, half the year's already gone, it wouldn't be a full year salary, so we could put in about $200,000. That would be able, allow us to hire people, because it wouldn't be paid for the full year.
If you think about it, by the time they got trained, if they were new, they wouldn't be available till July anyway.
And also, just remember, we're a civil service town, so we have to follow civil service rules, so we can't arbitrarily, unfortunately, we get a list to hire people from, so we would have to work that out, but it can be done. I'm
Right, it can be
saying-
done, and if they're
Yes.
part-time, it might make it easier.
Civil service is real strict, but we can certainly work it out. We can certainly work it out. So we
My
can put
opinion,
in, we
it
can
has
put in
to
the
be done
200.
now.
So Dr. Pascucci, can we put in the 200 so we stay under the cap and that covers for the first half of the year?
50,
I take the 275. So you have 275 left, you said, right?
Yes.
Do 275.
I'm good with that.
I'm good with that.
Because that would be effective.
Is the
for this
CFO,
year.
is there any reason to hold back 25 or anything for just in case of a
Well,
rounding error? I hate to take it to the
Yeah,
limit.
Our biggest problem is gonna be that impacts we will have no cap bank for next year, which will restrict how much we can put in the budget for 2020.
Is there a difference if I go to 250 to leave a little cushion, not leave a little cushion?
Your difference is gonna be what your cap bank is. We used all the cap bank for last year, which was, like, 1.3 million, so that'll bring us down to like 700,000 next year, we can increase our budget by. So it really, what it impacts what we can utilize next year.
We can increase our budget by more than $700,000 next year if we do this
Mhm.
year.
And
Okay,
again,
but I guess there's not a difference between 250 and 275. I didn't know if getting to the top, it's like getting ready to bounce the
It's not a
check,
tax bracket.
getting ready to bank, going to the negative on your deficit. Okay, that's great.
So on the 5 million.
Yeah,
So, good, I like it. So what's the plan? Is that for a firehouse and the ladder truck?
no, so we had already budgeted $800,000 or $900,000 for a new truck.
So
that
we had 500 last year I put in, right, from 2018, when Tom was mayor, we put in the budget for fire. So we have 500,000 carryover we haven't used yet. So we're including that in payment for this vehicle?
So the vehicle that the fire chief has given to us, the quote was for $753,000. So we have enough. We put 800,000 in this year, and as you said, there's 500 left. So the vehicle that they would like to order is about $800,000.
So we have 500 carried forward, right? 500 carried forward in addition to what the mayor just asked me. So we're gonna have 5.5 in our budget. I know there was a discussion for a ladder truck too and a firehouse, right? So 5.5, is that?
Listen, to this day, Greg, we don't know. I mean, this was very late in the cycle, so we don't know if a firehouse costs us $3 million or $7 million. It's gonna take now planning. We have to get the architect involved, the engineer. We need the location. Again, I've written down Crawford's. The report, as Dr. Rocco said, specifies the middle of town. F and F would be a wonderful location if we can situate that. So I think what we need to do before we start is we're gonna get them a brand new truck this year. That's what the advantage of this particular truck was. At the end of the day, this location, once it's decided and once we get the designs, we'll know what that exact amount of money is, and we'll work as quickly as we can. And at that point, we're gonna have to adjust. Maybe 5 is too little, maybe it's too much, but we'll know that answer in the next 3 to 4 months. You don't have to raise your hand, Ron.
The original numbers that we had last week was 2 million to renovate Crawford's Corner, right? Is that what we said in the last meeting?
I don't know, but you know, I've talked to 3 or 4 different people, structural engineers, you know, it feels that we're putting, you know, trying to, you know, have a staff one with a Band-Aid there. It just doesn't feel that that is the right way to do it, and at the end of the day, if we're a little closer to Southern Holmdel, which has clearly been on the minds of a lot of people at F&F, and it can work there, and there are a few other locations, so we're gonna have to, as a group, work together
And Mayor, if I might,
and find out that ideal location.
we could have the architect give us an estimate for Crawford's Corner as well as building a brand new one, so you have something to look at, and there may be some other locations in town we could also include. So we can have him give us a rendering for Crawford's Corner, for the site next to F&F, and any other places you want us to look.